Good morning. Welcome. I hope you guys are having a good and beautiful morning. Thank you for joining this webinar. We appreciate and value your time. Thank you very much. The Learning Space, a Transform Africa company in partnership with Microsoft, First Distribution, and El Buhaj Royal Academy, presents the webinar on empowering small and medium businesses with Microsoft solutions. Allow me to make a few introductions. I would like to introduce the Learning Space. The Learning Space is a capacity building organization that focuses on various ICT courses, including routing and switching, virtualization, cloud computing, private and public cloud, programming, security, DevSecOps, just to mention a few. Allow me to introduce Microsoft. As you all are aware, Microsoft helps people and helps businesses to realize their full potential. And they have offerings that includes productivity offerings and cloud solutions. Allow me to introduce First Distribution. First Distribution was founded in 1984 and is a value-added distributor. And they have a number of partnerships with various original equipment manufacturers, including Microsoft and many more. They are present in over 10 countries globally. Introducing El Buhaj. El Buhaj is a private school in Kano that focuses on transforming lives of learners from various backgrounds. And I think this is a fantastic contribution to the society, because as we all know, the youths are the future of any nation. So introducing the panelists. Welcome panelists, and thank you again for honoring this webinar. It's always a pleasure to engage, and let's enjoy this time together to engage on this discussion today around Microsoft solution and how it empowers small businesses, small and medium businesses. So Mr. Olumide Dixon is a Microsoft specialist and works for First Distribution. He has experience in leading sales, and he has various skills in business planning, operations management, and leadership. I like to refer to Olumide as a sales target achiever, and that's a big thing. I would also like to introduce Abubakar Abdullahi. Abubakar Abdullahi is the proprietor of El Buhaj Royal Academy. He has a master in development studies and BSc accounting with over 11 years of experience in the banking, Islamic banking, and various financial related experiences. I like to refer to Abubakar Abdullahi as a natural leader. At this moment, I will be handing over now to Olumide to continue to present the Microsoft value proposition. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope you stay tuned for us to continue with this webinar. We're going to have discussions at the end, and we're going to also take Q&A. Thank you very much. Olumide, thank you.
Good morning, Mohammed. Thank you so much for the opportunity. And thank you all. Thank you to everyone else. Thank you to Learning Space. Thank you to Microsoft, and thank you to Al Bujab Academy. So basically, the world is changing, and as we all know that the world is changing, the landscape of work is also shifting. So as you're aware that small businesses are beginning to become the hub or the survival of any economy, and small businesses cannot compete with large businesses due to not having enough funds to do business or not having enough funds to buy solutions they need. Now, in this space, I would show you how Microsoft has been able to consider the small business and how to empower them. And now, if you know, so small businesses are twice likely to hire remote employees because, number one, either they don't have cost to rent a space and they are trying to cut costs, so they're likely to hire remote employees. So now the idea is behind how this COVID-19 has enabled us to see the reality. And if you see that 52% of the global workspace work at least from home, so you need tools that will enable you work from home at the same time you can work anywhere from. Moving on. And you can see that many businesses agree that dynamic teams require solutions to help them. Now, this is the exact workspace of today. Now, there's a disjointed collaboration, there's delay in development and employment with content ideas, there are unreliable versions of software application, there are dispersed resources, increased IT support workload, you have to buy physical solutions here and there, you don't trust third-party security because they are shared files, you have to have multiple authentication authority because you are trying to be safe. You can't bring your own device because if you bring your own device, it's difficult to work with them in your environment, and there's difficulty to access your files remotely. You have to be in your office to access those files. You can't have integrated vendor contracts in your environment. So these are problems going on with the work environment today. And what Microsoft has gone a step further, moving on to help us see how we can put all these things together using technology. Now, if you would agree with me, 56% of young managers cite lack of technology as a reason why they are not able to work remotely. And it's important for us to realize that in order for us to engage this work from home idea or have your head office in Nigeria and your branch office in Lagos, and you're able to work collaboratively, you need technology to work. And SMB collaboration is easy because the skill sets you need might be in one place of the world, and the skill sets you might need to be, and you are somewhere else. So you need to have a collaborative tool. So what is done is that, your ability to work done from anywhere, you have document version control, so you can co-author document with technology. So what it means is that if there's an Excel document or a PowerPoint document or anything you are working on, you can work with it real time using technology, and it makes it easier for your team to do their job. So approvals can come instantly, and there's security. So nobody is changing the file and sending it through BOSS to you or through DHL, where the documents can get lost in the process. Moving on, where the documents can get lost in the process. Now, reshaping the workspace. Now, what this technology does is that it will inspire your employees with a consistent and clear vision. It will foster creativity because now they are thinking on their feet and they are able to make decisions on the go. It makes it easier for team members to actually do their job because now they are not thinking that how can I get my work done. So they can work 24 hours because now it's remote work. They can try to work in the midnight where everybody else is asleep and still get their job done because they don't have to come to a physical office entirely. And it gets stronger engagement from team members. So team members can work together stronger because now they know that I have deliverables and there's a timeline for my deliverables based on using technology, and there's parameters to check it out and to verify the work done. Moving on. So for better teamwork, these are the things that you will need to make teams work better. You need your mobile work support, you need external collaboration, you need enterprise-grade security, and you need real-time teamwork. Now, I'll stay on enterprise-grade security for a little bit. Now, security is major. Nobody wants to have a solution where they are not sure that what they are working on is safe. Now, what Microsoft has done in this space is that they've been able to create security around every solution that they have made available. So it enables access for those who need it and keep out those who don't. So probably you have the MD and you have receptionist. You don't want receptionists to see exactly the financials to the organization. Now with enterprise-grade security, what it does is that you can lock out anybody who doesn't have admin rights and have access to give access to the people that only matters to see. Moving on. Now, how do you achieve this? Simple. You need an intelligent email with calendaring capabilities to keep you focused on track. You need to stay ahead of your moving schedule with a calendar that captures everything you want. You need a bubble important email box that pushes out your most important emails to you, and keep records you need at your fingertips, and find what you need fast using enhanced search to read emails. So you need an email function that will enable you capture all your needs in one place, your planners, your information, and your schedule in one place, whereby with a glance you can tell exactly this is what I'm doing and this is what I need to achieve. Moving forward. Now, while you also need business class emails, you also need file storage, because we all know that there's no point keeping documents and we're saying it's safe, and we do not have how we can use them online. So what online file storage does is that if you save your documents or your information in a place on the cloud, and for example you forget your laptop at home and you're at work and someone asks you, maybe you are in the middle of the market, asks you, please, can you please send me these documents now? And you're like, I'm not at home on my system. But with your online file sharing storage, you can just get into another system, check the internet, any internet around the world, and have access to it and share it wherever you want to work with. And it's easy because popular apps like Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, which are called Office 365 apps, enable you to do this. And with applications like Teams, which is available for both desktop and mobile apps, you can also get that done within a jiffy without having to worry about how to get it done. Next, moving on, please. Now, so one of the things that's also very important to note in technology does for you is that it enables you to chat and get online messages real time. So you are working on a project with your colleague and you want it done now. You don't want the hassles of sending emails to your colleague, and you want it done now. Within the technology space of Microsoft, what they've done is they've created a separate tool where you can chat and have online meetings there, like the one we are having right now, and you are able to share your mind real time and let your customers and your colleagues get important meeting. You can hold meetings with anyone inside or outside the organization. You can make work easy using meeting scheduling assistance, sharing screen, using collaborative note taking as part of online meetings, and there is speed for innovation. So it's one-on-one. It's not come back today, come back tomorrow. It's one-on-one, so you can get that done as soon as possible. Moving on. Now, shift and task management. Everybody knows that one of the ways that things get stalled is because people don't know when the work they are delegated to is next for them to do. Now, with automated shifts and Power Apps Flow, what it does is that you can set scheduling assistants or schedule tasks and say, okay, I'm working on project A. As soon as I'm done, kindly notify my colleague B, and my colleague B will instantly take up the project from where I've left up. You can create that using the Powerflow app. Powerflow apps are apps within the Microsoft ecosystem that you can use to create tools. You can use to create workflows or create schedules or create tasks that will enable your work become seamless. Move on, please. So Teams. Teams, this is Microsoft Teams. This is the dashboard where everything on Microsoft is created up. So right now, what Microsoft have done, they've created a platform called Microsoft Teams where every of their solutions, from Office 365 apps to your emails to your collaborative chats, shift management, everything can be done on this particular app. Now, what it does is that on this particular app, you can create your Power Apps flow. Like if you can see the screen, there's what they call an inventory bot. An inventory bot is a Power App tool. So on Microsoft Teams, you can create inventory. You can just click on inventory bot and tell them that, okay, so I have a branch in Ibadan, I have a branch in Kano, I have a branch in Kaduna, and I want to do an audit. Now, every time they impute the figure into this, because there's already a shift app or a Power Apps enabled, they can have access to it and see exactly what is going on in real time. So everybody knows it's available to everybody, it's transparent, everybody knows exactly what is being done. Move on, please. Now, everything I have mentioned, now it's so for you, so normally before Microsoft came into this space, for you to get a business class email, you will need like $4 for your anti-spam, anti-malware. You will need $4 for a shared online calendar. You will need teamwork. For teamwork, collaborative tool, productivity apps, file storage, you need another $8 for you to buy a third-party application for chat. You need another $13, which will sum up to like $45. But Microsoft has decided to say all these solutions to help SMEs. We have come up with a plan called Microsoft 365 Business Basic. It's a single integrated solution that will help your SMB run and grow their business. So it comes with web versions of Office productivity tools. It comes with your Microsoft Teams, I just mentioned. It comes with your Power Apps, automated Power Apps where you can create rules and all. Now, all this, what it does for you, it enables you to get your work done seamlessly without having to break the bank. So cost is paramount to every business. Now, for $5 per month for each user, you can get all these things done and save money at the same time. Moving on. As Microsoft, as Microsoft, so what you get is you take advantage of continuous end user support, training, and adoption services like this. You get benefits from streamlined user policy, governance data, and lifecycle management. And you enable online meetings, set up your work with enablement, file and content migration, and you receive help and training for live events. I think for $5, all these are a plus for any SME that is willing to take life into your own hands, like they always say, your life is in your hands. And I hope that I'm available for questions after this event or during the event, as the case may be. And in learning, you will teach, and in teaching, you will learn. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Olumide. That was fantastic. You just covering some of the things that would enable, small and medium businesses. I think this is fantastic. Thank you very much. We would now be moving on to the next session. I would like to take this opportunity to showcase a number of Microsoft solutions, just expanding on what Olumide has presented, which is around what the Microsoft solution can offer and the suites that Olumide was talking about. So as you can see, this is quite a bouquet of solutions, right, that can help small and medium businesses, from the calendar, to the dynamics, just for you to be able to automate your processes, to your Excel, the Excel that we're all used to, to do your calculations or to enter your data, forms. I'll show you a bit of forms just so that you can see how to position it for your business. So there's a number of solutions that we need to, be conversant about as a small and medium business. And if you are interested, we can always look at a training for your small and medium businesses through the learning space, because some of these solutions can help you innovate your organization and also to motivate and inspire your employees or your staffs, because every time we hit a bubble and we hit a creative space, and we need to be able to know what tool set can we use to enable our creativity. So basically, Microsoft has a number of suites and applications that can help fast track your business. So I would like to cover a number of applications, starting from PowerPoint. I'll cover just overview of Excel, and then I'll cover the planner, and then I'll finally cover the forms, right? So that you can just see different applications and how they can enable your business. So starting from PowerPoint, right? You are in PowerPoint, right? You are able to see templates or themes, right? So that means you don't have to start from scratch. Microsoft have looked at it to say, how do you just get going as quickly as possible? So you could create your PowerPoint or your proposals, from a template that already exists, and then you can customize it the way you want, right? So this is fantastic because most of us now, especially in this virtual reality of the COVID-19 pandemic, most of businesses now will now be requiring you to send your digital proposal or to send your digital profile. You should be able to create it, and you should be able to send it, as quickly as possible, or even have an online meeting on Teams with your client, right, while presenting your solution real time. So basically, I will just talk you through, PowerPoint very quickly, in a sense that with PowerPoint, as you can see, I've created a sample SME grant proposal, right? The whole idea here is that you should not necessarily start from scratch when you want to do your proposal. For example, as you can see this page, SME grant proposal, right? I'm able to change the formatting, as we go along, right? For example, there's a tool called the designer, right? You can use the designer to begin to format or to customize your presentation the way you want it. For instance, the SME grant proposal is very basic, but I can use this designer to convert it into a beautiful looking proposal, right? That first slide, as you can see. Whatever theme you like, you are able to then select. Let's say, for example, I want this theme. I can select this theme. Let's, for example, if my organizational logos are yellow or green, I could look for something that matches my business as close as possible, right? So Microsoft PowerPoint suggests to you, in terms of, based on what you are trying to do, it suggests what is appropriate. So let's go to slide 2, which is the content, table of content, right, of your proposal. Now, it begins to give you, options to convert your content, your static content, into something that is beautiful, something that is dynamic, something that is eye-catching, right? So all this you can do using your designer tool. The project objectives as well. This is another slide. I can convert it into this beautiful graphical representation, right? And on, meaning that I am able to customize my presentations the way I want it. Now look at this financials on slide 4 in terms of your project timelines. I'm able to put a beautiful table around it just to ensure that it looks and reads well. And these are all AI, all interactive, trying to predict what you want to do and giving you suggestions as you go along. For example, the budget, right? I mean, we do budget all the time in terms of when we do proposal, what is going to be our cost, how much is our resources going to cost us. You are able now to select a particular theme that matches your style or your business requirement. So this is just a little function around the Microsoft PowerPoint. And the beauty here is that as I'm working on this document, right, I can have another colleague of mine anywhere in the world, be it the person is in Lagos or in Abuja or in Kano or in Kaduna. We can all collaborate real time on this document and chat real time, right? So that means you can take it beyond just doing a presentation and sending to your colleague to almost like an interactive presentation, and you can have what we refer to as a working meeting. So this is the PowerPoint, just demo. I would like to move on to Excel. Some of the capabilities that Excel can also give to you, right? As you can see, right, the Excel gives you a particular themes as well for you to select from, or template for you to select from, right? You can create invoices. There's a sample template for you to create your invoice. There's a task template if you want to schedule your teams into tasks. There's balance sheets in case you are looking for, to do your income statement or your financial statement. So there's a number of things that you can use. So again, the whole concept is that don't reinvent the wheel, right? So meaning that you can use an existing, template or theme that already exists and do your design, right? So just showing you a bit of the Microsoft Excel in terms of the things that you can then have out of it. You could create a simple monthly budget summary, calculation for your business that is automated, right? Meaning that as you update your income and expenses, it updates this dashboard. For instance, we have the income budget to be about 1.6 million naira, right? And we have housing. You're estimating that your housing is going to cost you 500,000, right? Let's assume I change that 500,000 to to a higher figure, right? In terms of housing. So I'll look for the housing tab, and I'll probably make this one. Let's say I make it, I increase it to 720. Let's see the impact to our budget. As you can see, your budget is now already in deficit, right? It's already in deficit, meaning that you are running, your expenses is really more than your, your projected income, or your projected inflow. So this is just simple, tools that you can use in your everyday business engagement, and you can make your staffs more efficient and more forward looking, saving them time, because they need to spend the time, right, in productive activities rather than administrative activities. So I would like to move on from Excel to talk about your Microsoft Planner, right, which is another tool set that we have, that Microsoft has, in terms of you could manage your entire business engagement on this planner, either from a project perspective or from a task perspective, right? So as you can see from the planner, I'm able to go to my planner hub, right? I will see the existing projects that I have. For instance, I have a project here to set up office for Kano office, right? Now, if I go into that, I can begin to see the task, right, that are related, and I can create buckets, right? So I can create administrative buckets, building buckets. So any task that is related to building, I can do it under the building buckets. Any task that is related to technology, I can do it under the technology bucket. I can add new buckets, right? So let me say, for example, there's a sales bucket, right? I can add the sales bucket into the bucket list, right? So giving me flexibility to create my task, right? On the technology, for instance, I need to set up a task for internet connection, right? Reach out, for example, let's reach out MTN and Airtel as an example, right? For connectivity cost, right? So I'm able to create this task. I'm able to assign and set due date, right? So I'm able to set due date and say this task is quite urgent. I need it to be done by Friday, tomorrow, and I can assign an owner to it. So I'm going to assign Zachary Hamzat, to this task, and voila, I have created this task. Now, if I go to my my task, I can see my reporting in a graphical manner. All my tasks, what I need to do, I'm able to see whether the tasks are late, whether they are in progress, whether they are completed. So again, you can also get some reporting out of this as well. So this is just giving you just a peek preview into some of this functionality, right? Or some of these offerings and some of these tool sets that your business can definitely use. But of course, you also need to train your staff to make sure that they can also be as effective and efficient as possible, like Olumide mentioned in his presentation. So basically, you could do a lot of business planning on this platform. And then the beauty about this is that this also exists in an app. So if you are on the go, right, you can install it on your app and then check up on task, and you get alerts. You can put this task in your calendar, right, so that you get reminder to say this task is about to get due. You can set up a threshold in terms of if this task is almost 50% in terms of due date, please let me know. Or if it's almost 100% due, let me know from an escalation perspective. So basically, you could do a whole lot. I will be moving now to the forms functionality, right? So the form functionality allows you to survey your clients or to get additional information from your staffs, right? For instance, we have created a survey for Farm 365, trying to gather the quarterly, it's a quarterly customer satisfaction survey. So you want to know how your customers are doing. What feedback can they give to you? You can just create a very simple form. It takes a click. You don't actually need to be a rocket scientist to actually do this, because if I believe if I can do it, everyone on the call also can do it, because it's that easy, right? So for instance, if I want to add, I've added two fields, right? So company name, I want to collect data about company name. I also want to know how satisfied they are about the product, right? So I'm able to then do a scaling for 1 being poor and 10 being excellent. So I can do that scaling from that perspective. If I want more information, it's as easy as add new, right? I can add new text field, right? Just to collect questions, to say, please give uh, please give us additional feedback, right? Text, and I can even insert a picture to help. Maybe you can insert a picture that says feedback is a gift, because once a client gives you feedback, you have to be very appreciative, right? So as you can see, I've created that form, very easy, and I can get responses. So we have this form was sent out yesterday, and we already got 22 responses. The average time it took to complete the form was around about 45 seconds, because it was that easy. So again, this is also a trick as well. You need to make sure that once you are creating a form or trying to get information from your customers, try and keep it as simple as possible, so that it's effective for you to get the feedback that you need, so that clients are not turned off from asking them a lot of questions. There's a lot of stats you can get from here. You can begin to understand, how they are responding, what is happening. Also, you can also make your survey anonymous, right? Meaning that if you want to do an employee survey, you can also make it anonymous, so that you don't invade on the feedback, on the confidentiality of the feedback that they're going to give you. Remember, as we say, feedback is an absolute gift. So basically, the last is the analytics tool, right? The analytics tool allows you to begin to collect data, right? My analytics begins to collect data over a period of time, right? As you can see, I am new to using this profile, right? So, and this I'm new to using this profile, and it has advised me that it needs around about 4 weeks, at least 4 weeks, to be able to give me meaningful data, right? Give me meaningful data. What kind of data can it give us? It can give us, availability to focus. How are you managing your time? How are you planning your calendar? How efficient are you? Right? Also, well-being. This is very important as well. Are you overworking yourself? Are your employees overworking themselves? You can begin to see your things that can help you become more productive. Your network, how many chats are you having? Are you communicating? Are you collaborating? It gives you all this insight and many more insights. I mean, we can't see the data because we need to build this data. And remember, data is interesting, because the more data you have, the more you are able to then analyze, and the more you are able to function more efficiently, right? So basically, that is just a short overview, right, on some of the offerings that Microsoft offers. And as Olumide did mention, the package for the small and medium businesses is $5, and it gives you some of these functionalities, or all these functionalities put together, and drives the productivity of your team further. So again, I think for me, this is we just want to make sure that we give the insight into what the small businesses have at their disposal, right? From a Microsoft perspective. So basically, that is really what I wanted to share from a presentation perspective, so that we can, if you are interested in going a bit deeper, more demo sessions can be scheduled, and you can leave your comments, and you can leave your detail behind with regards to specifically what you would like to go deeper into. However, remember that Microsoft has a robust offerings that cannot be factored in just a simple presentation. However, you can begin to go deeper into most of those solutions. So thank you very much. We would be moving into the Q&A, right, and shortly. So just stay tuned. The panelists would help us with answering the questions that comes out of the Q&A. Thank you very much for listening. Okay, great. To open the floor, I would like to ask Olumide Dixon to answer this question that has come from the panelists, the attendees, and some of the attendees and what they are asking. So the first question is, please, how is Microsoft Teams better than Google collaborative tools? Thank you. So that's the question, Olumide.
This is a very tricky question. So from a business standpoint, Microsoft is seriously focused on business, and their tools and offerings are to enable businesses get profit or make profit or help them do their business. So Microsoft has like 54 data centers around the world that will enable businesses who require their collaborative tools to have 100% uptime and not have any issue with downtime. They also have tools, PowerPoint, Excel, analytics, dynamics, that enable business have proper insight into their business. On the other hand, they also enable you to have a business class style email that you can have what you're focusing on and how to enable your business works properly. So so comparing Microsoft to Google is comparing apple to oranges. Microsoft is a business-minded company that focuses on businesses, enterprise, medium enterprises, and small businesses. And every of their solution is tailor-made to make small businesses, medium enterprise successful. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Olumide. I know that that question hit you, at a, but I think it's good for people to understand the various differences, right? I think one of the ones that I would like to point out is that with, of course, with the Microsoft Teams, you are able to organize a live event, right? Like this, that can accommodate up to 10,000 attendees, while the other ones I think can do probably 1,000, 2,000 attendees. So again, it just gives you that scalability as well in terms of scale. So just to support that that question. Now moving on, I would like Abubakar Abdullahi to answer this question, right? So the question is really around how important and relevant is the small business to implement technology in their daily operations. So what that just simply means is that what is the relevance of small and medium businesses implementing technology in their day-to-day operations? Okay, so while we wait for Abubakar Abdullahi to come back online or to respond to that question, Olumide, can you take another question for us? Right, what do you think are the main hindrances that have slowed the digitalization in the northern area of Nigeria, and particularly also just generally within small and medium businesses?
Okay, to be fair and to be honest, one of the reasons why we need to do more is we need more businesses in the north to actually stay in the north, so that there might be more penetration for technology and all. In the sense that everybody keeps running down to the west or running down to America, and nobody's staying in the core north to try and do business as a way technology-wise. So I think if like seminars like this are solving that issue, we are reaching out and we are penetrating and trying to say, okay, let's explain what these things can do. And once we have that done, then yes, we would get more penetration in the north. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Olumide. Inamdi, can you just still respond to that same question? Just your view, what you think, could be the reason for the slow adoption.
Okay, I'll just say one of the challenges around small businesses adopting technology, one is cost, which I think the Microsoft solution solves. Another is capacity, because regardless of the solution, people should be able to use those applications effectively. So I would say cost and technological advancement in terms of capacity building. Thank you.
Okay, just checking if Abubakar Abdullah is back on the call. Are you back? Okay, so what we will do is that we'll just continue with the questions that we have, and then as soon as Abubakar Abdullah comes back, we would take his responses. So another question, and I think Inamdi, if you can just go ahead with this question, and then Olumide, if you can just provide the.
Hello, Mo.
Okay, great. Hello. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Let me have the question again. I lost connectivity.
Okay, good. So the question is that what do you think are the main hindrances that have slowed the adoption of digitization in the North?
Wow. There are much. First of all, we'll be looking at, say, knowledge. I think the knowledge gap, a lot of people do not know. When you don't have knowledge of a particular thing, you're not likely to be able to utilize it or make good use of it. So generally, let's say for the level of awareness in another part of the country as regards technology, it's below par. And really begin to compare it with places like Lagos and other southwestern, southeastern environments. So basically, I think one, knowledge is a problem. Secondly, costs. Small businesses always want to look at how will this affect my business financially, what is the cost implication or what's not. So when you do not understand how you need to marry costs and productivity, cost and profitability and what have you, it also becomes a problem. Then also look at infrastructure. Can you bear with me that since we started, I've been going off and on, and this will tell you the level of connectivity we have here in the northern part of the country. So basically, let me give an instance now. Let's take, for example, let's take VI. In VI, we have a lot of banks, or let me say Marina, we have a lot of banks, and all these banks, they have their IT infrastructure, plus or minus, this thing gets to help to connect each other and they leverage on that. But here in the north, that's not the case. You're not likely to be able to maximize, or let me say, you collaborate with other people's IT infrastructure to get to better off yours. So you see, those two also be a problem, but gradually we will get there. Then another thing is passion. Sometimes you find yourself driven by passion to achieve something. But like I said, the infrastructure on the other hand, then also the ownership of the business. If you might have an employee who is passionate about ICT and just maybe the owner of the business is looking south or looking the other way around and looking at things that, look, you want to bring ICT on board, you want us to embrace ICT, but he's not looking at the bigger picture. So then he is not likely to accept that or is not likely to adopt ICT. So basically, all these are contribute to the challenges. And also there's what we call appetite to change. Yes, appetite to change. Sometimes people feel very uncomfortable to change, to adopt change. Yes, ICT is emerging. It's a fact. It's it's taking its whether we like it or not. What I get told some people that when we're growing up, our parents tell us that for you to succeed in life, you have to work hard. But ICT is telling you, no, for you to succeed in life, you have to work smart. And this is basically changing. So I think these are the basic problems that are affecting the slow pace of ICT in the northern part of the country. I hope that's.
Thank you very much, Abdullahi. I have another follow-up question for you, and thanks for your honesty around how things. What some of the challenges that are present there. I know that Olumide is listening, and we'll be able to take this feedback back to various ecosystem. To see, because I know that there's a lot of conversations happening in that space, especially now the reality of the pandemic. So another question that I have to ask is, how important and relevant is it to small businesses to implement technology in their daily operations? I think the focus here is how can they gradually look at technologies slowly by slowly until they fully adopt or they fully transition. Yeah.
Well, we wouldn't say when you start a business you should get to Eureka immediately or say, yeah, we've gotten to who. But the bottom line is technology has come and has come to stay. Most small businesses, if they want to compete or they want to survive within the business ecosystem, technology is a must embrace. You must do technology. For instance, let me give you one example, or let me share my experience with you. Some 8 years ago, I was a credit analyst in the bank, and I get to work on credit basically. And sometimes you come to our office and you get to see pile-ups of documents, people loan documents and whatever. We get to work. We work sometimes till midnight. We wake up the next morning, come to office, you already worked out, and you get to see a lot of files you must work with. You begin to get people's files, open files, and I mean, I'm talking about while we were using paper, biro, and what have you, just doing manual. But that's made work so uninteresting. You wake up in the morning, you're going to work to see if you're going to some of a prison or someone you're going to a place. You don't enjoy your work. But when we embrace technology, believe me, it was wow. Because one, let me give an instance, just like what Olumide explained initially, when you're working, you're done with a particular file. I've been sure when we're doing manual thing, when you're done with a particular file, you have to start, okay, let's take it to the first floor or third floor or whatever you for the next person in question to work on that. Then sometimes when you're done with that, you have to send these things to Lagos headquarters. We were in Kano. You have to send these things to Lagos manually via what do you call it? You have to bear transportation cost and all what's not. And on an average, for you to process a customer's facility, it takes you an average of maybe 3-4 weeks. But when we went online and when the system was fully automated, believe me, in 24 hours we were done with our credits. So you see, you enjoy what you're doing. Everything becomes seamless. Now, don't forget, while we were doing our turnaround time was like 3-4 weeks. One, you receive bashing from the customers. Two, you also receive bashing from your superiors. They tell you you're inefficient, you're not this, you're not that. Failing to realize that they did not put a system in place that will make our work seamless and enjoy and them say fun. But then now when they adopted technology, the game changed. Everything seems all good. Now, let what as a business owner, ordinarily before we adopted technology in our what do you call it? Before customers comes into the office, and so staff comes to the office, their staff register, they can write anything they like. Somebody can even sign in from somebody that is in office when the actual sense is not even around. But this is what's happened right now. We adopted the biometric machines. People come, they log on, as in using their thumbprint and they're on. If you're not around, nobody can do that for you. And believe me, it's helping the system, both the employees and I as an employer, because there's no two ways about it. You cannot assist anybody in doing what a person ordinarily should do. So for young business, for small businesses, what this bouquet does to them is to keep them on track from day one. In fact, it's even to their own advantage that most businesses are evolving now. I'm not talking about business that existed in the last 30, 40 years, but those are the ones that are beginning to have problem of adjusting to reality, the new listen. But this one's any business that is starting up in a millennia, or let me say starting up now, is a business that already have all the tools that will make his or her business simple. And you see, it's going to be, let me say, you have a seamless business process. So these are just one of the things that what do you call it, ICT will do to their businesses. Makes things seamless, and profitability will come in no time. Because for instance, most people were not able to differentiate what their capital is from their profitability or from their profit, because they do not have those tools that will guide them through. Okay, this is this. I need to take depreciation for this. I need to take this for that, and before they arrive at the total profit, or as the case may be. But then, in the past, we have to do almost everything manually. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for that, for answering the question and also giving us just practical everyday examples. And I believe that a number of people on the call be able to relate to what is going on. We're here to so thank you very much, Abdullah, for that response again. Just moving on to the next question around so somebody asked a question just leading to this discussion, and I think Olumide, if you can shed some light on this question. If you are transforming, I think the question is that if you are transforming from a paper-based operation to implementing Microsoft solution, how would you go about doing that? What would you advise them to do? So you're coming from a paper-based running of your business. What processes would they follow to adopt Microsoft solution?
So basically, so I can see how does the factory transition from mostly paper-based to operations to implementing. So there are different SKUs of type of licenses they can use. So for a factory, it's a factory, but the basic plan they will need is a SharePoint plan. So what SharePoint does for them is that they can move all their paper documents, scan them online, store them electronically. Now, once that is saved in the cloud with Microsoft as well, they now have access to it. Then through SharePoint, they can now initiate approval. So they can push out a document to probably head of manufacturing, to head of accounts, to head of logistics for approvals for anything. So using Microsoft SharePoint can solve that issue for them 100%. But if it's a manufacturing company, a factory, they will need to reach out to you to be able to help them properly understand the scope of their business.
Thank you very much, Olumide, for that. I don't know, among the panelists, do you have any additional comments with regards to what Olumide have said? What would we advise? Inamdi, would you mind just giving an additional comment around this transitioning, and particularly also in supporting to SharePoint that Olumide mentioned? Is there any other complementary applications that can also help?
So thank you. What I would also add is, as Olumide mentioned earlier, part of the offerings is the Microsoft's OneDrive solution that is attached to the basic license, and this gives you 1 terabyte of storage per user. I believe with that and SharePoint, you have the file storage that you need and to store your files and a couple of other things that we can't really get into because it is very vast. Thank you.
Thank you very much, guys. So I don't know if there are any panelists wants to give any comment because we are about to get to the closure of the webinar. Do you have any additional comment at this point in time or any additional advice? Abdullahi Abubakar? Okay, another question while Abubakar is trying to come back on. Another question is, Inamdi, if you can attempt this one. I'm not sure if I've asked it already. What are the trainings should small and medium businesses consider as it pertains to the Microsoft solution?
So for the Microsoft solution, Microsoft has a couple of certifications and trainings that people need to go through. One of it is the MSc business application. This provides certification for Dynamics and a couple of Microsoft tools to help you streamline operations, finances, HR, and other business processes. And also you can look at the basic Microsoft productivity suite training, which includes Excel, Microsoft, and PowerPoint proficiency. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much all for attending this webinar session. We really truly appreciate your time and we look forward to continue to see you in our webinars. We would send you additional details and recordings and presentations. Thank you very much for your time. We are truly grateful. And also thank you to all the panelists that were able to make this webinar. Thank you. Have a great day.